Hey, welcome to the journal for Sunday, December 29th, 2019, Living in Poverty. Happy New Year. My name is Eric Leo. I'm a sociologist, social psychologist, and philosopher, and this is my journal where I talk about myself and my philosophy. I'm about to move into my own apartment in Coldwater, Michigan. I got recommendations for housing from the staff at the AFC home. I won't miss living here, but I'll miss the staff who are great. When I move, I will be able to afford to be on an Atkins diet or a ketogenic diet. This makes me happy considering I'm very unhappy I'm so obese due to the diet I have to eat at the AFC home. I got Curiosity Stream because it was 40% off for the holiday and $12 a year, which is 1 month's charge for the bundle of Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN, which I can't afford. I'll get Hulu when I move. I bought some G Fuel and I love it. I never want to be without my medication again. I don't like the way I perceive women and I don't want to become like Onision due to mental illness. I will do everything in my power from now on to stay on my medication. I think my medication is paramount to my future success in keeping lucid and cogent. I'm grateful for my mother. She makes sure I have everything I need. The oligarchy. In this journal, I will talk about how I live in poverty, how it makes me feel, and how it's representative of the rest of the economy that is unfair to the working class. The U.S. is being run by a government that no longer represents the people. As Princeton and Northwestern University found in their 2014 study, America is an oligarchy. I have been writing about the effects and what this means in new posts, the result of corporate rule in America, and my political philosophy 2019. The last 6 presidents have made or kept policies that favor the oligarchy and super wealthy. When people say it isn't Trump because he's an outsider, I say he's more of the same. Reagan changed the gradual tax bracket for the wealthiest from 70% to 30%. Then Bush passed more laws for the extremely wealthy to benefit. You can read about it in David Cay Johnson's book, Perfectly Legal and Free Lunch. Trump just got into office and passed a tax bill that gave corporations a $1.5 trillion tax cut. Trump is more of the same corporate socialism and policies that economically benefit the wealthy at the expense of the poor and middle class. To be honest, I wouldn't mind a ruling class. I suggest how to make one through meritocracy in my political philosophy. The problem is that the oligarchy is greedy and doesn't take care of the rest of society. As Lord Acton says, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. The oligarchy's influence is nowhere more evident than the tax code. As the graph shows in the journal, the wealthiest in the country pay a lower tax rate percentage than the average American. As with many measures, especially with the tax code, it's clear the burden for paying for the economy is on the disappearing middle class. Although there are many measures to show a rigged economy for the oligarchy, I bring up labor because most people sell their labor. Labor is what makes the economy function. Real wages haven't kept up with production. The minimum wage would be around $22 if it kept up with increases in productivity. Living on disability, I personally survive on disability due to having schizoaffective disorder and live well below the poverty line. My medication is paid for and I get a little money to live, and I'm grateful, but I can't tell you how it's not good enough. 1 in 4 go disabled, and living on disability is a poverty trap. I'm limited on the amount of money I can make without losing my health care. I think it's bullshit and a sign of a rigged economy that those who need help and paid into Social Security are limited by how much they can make due to the propensity to have their health care taken away. I think it really highlights not only the rigged economy, but how morally bankrupt such a system has become. We have absorbent wealth and the most billionaires in the world, but life isn't so great for the poor. In America, the poorest and most vulnerable are limited in the amount of money they can make, while the richest in the country aren't and don't have to pay their fair share in taxes. I rightfully see my poor quality of life as contributing to more money for the already super wealthy. Many people can't afford to pay their co-pays and deductibles even if they have insurance, and prescription drug prices in America are the highest in the world. I feel fortunate that I don't have to work to survive, but I can't tell you that it's so not good enough. I'm not happy. It's hard for me to afford basic necessities, and I can forget about luxury goods. It's hard for me to afford an energy supplement per day to improve my mood. I can barely afford an Audible and Hulu subscription. I can't go anywhere often because it costs gas. I can't afford to get a gym membership. I can't afford a massage or to buy an entertainment system. I can't afford to subscribe to Masterclass. I have to get G Fuel and a cheap Scarlett Focusrite solo music music equipment interface on a credit card and pay over months. I can't afford any luxury items or much health food. I want a house, but I can't afford it, and I want a cat, but I can't have one. I have to be so financially disciplined. Every financial decision I make, I have to pick between things I need and really want. I have become hyperopic or farsighted in my spending where I forgo present happiness for future reward. And again, it wouldn't be so bad if I could work for these things, but I can't without getting my health care taken away. Again, the American economy is rigged for the benefit of the oligarchy, and disability is a poverty trap. Make America great again. I don't know why people call America the greatest country in the world, because it definitely is not for me. People like me, people on disability, the retired, the poor, working class, and working poor. The oligarchy doesn't have to worry about their labor being devalued or not being able to afford health care or their medication. I live in the wealthiest nation in the world, but that wealth isn't for me. It's implicit in the American system. I don't deserve money for disposable income. The system is basically telling me I don't deserve more money in a system that limits your freedom to work by pulling your health care. It's a huge piss off, and how unfair it is makes me want the oligarchy to pay. I've always thought America needed a massive redistribution of wealth through the tax code, and I will forever do everything in my power to take money from those who have too much, like billionaires, and give it to those who need it, because it's obvious the oligarchy can't rule responsibly. The people in power, the oligarchy, have seriously pissed me off, and I'm going to do everything in my power to be their worst nightmare and take back the power for we the people. America desperately needs political representation for the people. I am very hopeful Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren will get into office and change the way the economy and political system function. I won't always be poor, but I'll never forget the way America made me feel like I was worth less than the average citizen and don't deserve to have a decent lifestyle because of my disability. I have to find a way to build real wealth with an income that can afford my health care and medication. Otherwise, it's an even worse poverty trap without disability. I want to be a professor for many reasons. I think it would make me happy. I would enjoy it. I could keep it up long term. I want it as a career. It would give me good health care, and I could make enough to invest in my future and save for retirement at a rate comparable to make up for the time I lost to save while on disability. My books and albums will also complement my work, make me more marketable, and produce more income. I'm hopeful for the future. In conclusion, check out the treatise and journal description list. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of my family. You're awesome. I love you very much. And until next time, you take care, all right?